So, in honor of Black History Month, we're going to focus on Megyn Kelly. Yeah, I'm joking, of course. Megyn is not black, and I don't think she is pro black. If you know her, she's very notorious for being very right wing and conservative. But this will not be a hit piece or even hate piece on her or Mike Rinder. I will actually be giving them quite a lot of praise. There will be some criticism, but that will be at the end. So the basic gist is Rinder and her met a few years ago. They did a small segment together, but Megyn was like, "Oh, I really like you. You need to come back." And they conducted a much longer interview. It got a lot of traction. I mean, a lot. It has at least over 1 million views. So it was clearly very popular. Rinder was doing what Rinder does, selling himself, but I do think he imparted some valuable information. We're concentrating on Tom Cruise, but I want to go beyond that.
Understanding he's kind of like the BFF of David Miscavige. He's kind of like a co-runner of Scientology, seeing his huge box office success, people revering him with the Top Gun movie this past year.
Not pleasant. I like. I don't actually wish anybody, perhaps other than David Miscavige, ill will. You know,
Well, I disagree with Megan's analysis of Tom, but here I will focus praise on her general orientation towards Scientology, which is really hostile and negative. She hates Scientology. She does not like it. She doesn't like almost any part of it. She did sort of give it praise for its kind of devotion to self help. I don't think she understood that either, but we'll put aside her knowledge of Scientology in any deep sense. I will give her praise for realizing that this is a fairly ugly, evil organization and very anti Christian. There's a lot of conservatives and right wing conservatives, as well as even Christians, who are attracted to Scientology. I don't know why, because Scientology at its core is so radically anti Christian. However, for whatever reason, a lot of them have been seduced, but not her. So she gets a lot of points in my book for not believing the hype, seeing through the nonsense, and realizing, yeah, these people don't like the Bible, they don't like Christianity, they're our enemies. And I agree. And Render actually did a good job of showing demonstrably fairly well that yes, when it comes to Christians, Scientology is not your friend, they are not your allies. And I will even give her points with Tom Cruise because even though I don't hate Tom as much as other anti Scientologists, I do think we should hold him to account. But I don't hate the man as much as other people do. I do think he's still very talented. He's delusional, but talented. Megan doesn't think he's very talented, and she definitely hates him. But she is consistent in terms of criticizing him, whereas a lot of other reporters, they criticize him here, they criticize him there, but they drop the ball. Not her. She's been very consistent there. But now, when we get into the actual analysis of Tom and his relationship with Miscavige, I think she and Rinder don't quite know what's going on.
I sort of acknowledge his success, but I wish that he would be more honest.
Do you think he knows all this stuff?
Yes, I do.
You
I
know,
think he knows a large part of way more than the other celebrities. He is, like you said, sort of BFF, and he is in some ways the second man of Scientology.
And he's gaslit him into donating tens of millions of dollars and speaking out and defending him in Scientology. So you can't tell me this guy isn't being victimized. Everybody's like, oh, Tom is Dave's best friend. He's not. Dave uses him, exploits him, makes him believe that they're friends. I mean, you gotta up the bar on how evil you think Miscavige is.
Mitch did a lot of propaganda and film stuff for the church. He was never an official member, but he worked on their quote, professional propaganda. He even did some of the hate videos against Marty Rathbun, apparently. So, yeah, so he got to know David Miscavige fairly well. People think that Miscavige and Cruz are friends. I think Mitch is right. They're not really friends. Miscavige is manipulating these friendly feelings they have towards one another, but it is to favor him in the church. I'm sure Tom thinks Scientology considers him a leader, but really they just want to use him to recruit other people. But they don't like him. They don't respect him. A lot of high people in Scientology, a lot of low people in Scientology do not have a good opinion of Tom Cruise. It is a facade that they put on for him. I'm sure he honestly believes it, and he's done horrific things in the church, of course, manipulating and using people. But at the end of the day, he is being more manipulated than anything else. They didn't get it quite right with Tom Cruise. I think he is being manipulated. But otherwise, I can't say it's a bad interview. I do think they covered many good topics. These are not good people, but the information was solid. So I would have to, quote, recommend the interview. I think it was well done, very informative. But generally speaking, I don't trust either one of them. However, I would have to say Megyn is way more trustworthy than Rinder. But gotta be careful with both of them.